Well, I'm here chatting with Dale Rozell, and Dale is the president, the founder of Glasses for Missions, and we have in front of us a bit of the paraphernalia that you use to manufacture glasses with Glasses for Missions. And Dale, I wonder if you would start us out here by just telling us some of the history. How did this ministry come about?
Well, it all started when we prayed the Jabez prayer and asked the Lord to make us more effective for Him. And shortly afterwards, we went to JARS and to do some volunteer work, and I met a gentleman there by the name of Eugene Koenig. And God had given him a vision to get inexpensive glasses to people around the world. And so he showed me a pair of glasses that he had been working on. He'd been working on the design, and they looked good to me with stainless steel frames, a little homemade-ish, but they looked like they'd work. And so I wanted to bring them back and show them to the local Wycliffe support group and brag about this, what this gentleman was doing, you know, up in Waxhaw, making glasses for people in the jungles. And but he was reluctant to give them to me, wouldn't give them to me, and I tried to buy them. He wouldn't sell them to me. So finally I traded him an ice cream bar for him.
Wouldn't sell them to you, but he settled for an ice cream bar.
Right, he settled for an ice cream bar. So
man after my own heart. Okay.
Yes, so I brought them home, and while I was showing them to the local Wycliffe group, I accidentally dropped them and both lenses fell out. So I was very embarrassed after I'd been bragging about what a great job this gentleman was doing. So after praying about it, practically overnight, the Lord gave me a new design, the design that you see before us here now. And so I had my wife videotape me, and I made a pair, made up the new tools, and shipped them up to Eugene. We just wanted to help him. So when he got them, why, he said, "Dale, I'm so excited I can't sleep tonight." So he asked me to come up and for the Wycliffe World Conference, and we'd set up a booth and start training people how to make them, which we did, and everyone was so excited. It was so obvious that the Lord was really in it, and so we knew we had to start this ministry.
Now you have a bit of a background in engineering and in manufacturing and in fixing things.
Well, fixing things, yes. I taught business machine maintenance in a vocational school.
I got you. Yeah. But you have an engineering mind, the ability to see how things could be best put together.
Thank you. It's just a gift the Lord gave me.
Right. So when you look at a pair of glasses, like what are some of the characteristics of these glasses that make them so useful in the jungles, as you said, or out in the remote areas, villages?
Well, mostly the frames are stainless steel welding wire, so it's a material that's readily available. And being stainless steel, they're non-allergic or non-allergenic, I guess you would say it, and very sturdy. We haven't had anyone break the frames yet. You know, they get bent. You can straighten them back out, put them back on, they'll still work.
The frame or the hinge on the side is there's no screw, so there's nothing to lose there.
Right. No welding, no soldering, no screws to fall out.
It's one piece of metal that holds the lens in place.
Correct.
So it's very stable that way. Well, Dale, we're here today, speaking to the network leaders and the vice presidents of Evangelism Explosion that are meeting in Malaysia, and we're going to announce to them some pretty exciting news.
Yes.
And that news is that Glasses for Missions is becoming part of Evangelism Explosion. Yes. In fact, Evangelism Explosion is assuming the oversight of the ministry, Glasses for Missions. And I say it that way in particular because we don't want to do any harm to the ministry, Glasses for Missions. We're not undoing it. we're taking the work that Glasses for Missions has done now for, how long has it been in existence for?
7 years.
7 years. So you've got a lot of folks that are involved. You have donors
Yes.
that are involved. You have people that are trained around the world. How many
Yes.
folks would you say that you've trained up to now?
Wow, I haven't been able to keep up with them all, but they've taken it to 57 countries, and so there's quite a few. We've trained a lot of people.
You were telling me the other day that you've had enough material go out the door to make some volume of glasses. Do you remember that number?
Right, yes. We've been averaging a little over 30,000 pairs a year.
So times 7.
Yes.
You know, now it ramped up in the beginning, but let's say that there's 190,000 pairs of glasses out there
yes.
somewhere that people have been blessed. Now there are 6.5 billion people on earth, and many of them live in places where they don't have access to
That's true.
this kind of thing. So we've got a few more pairs of glasses we could make.
Yes,
And
quite a few.
before. Now, your goal with this thing, the reason you did this was because you believed people need to be able to read the Word of God.
Amen, yes. Shortly after the Lord gave us the design for the glasses, He gave us a vision. And the vision is to glorify God by enabling Christians around the world to read their Bible and show the love of Christ in presenting the gospel.
So presenting the gospel was one of the core ideas to Glasses for Missions. For how long does it take to make a pair of glasses like this?
Well, most people takes about 20 minutes. I've made so many I can make a pair in 13 minutes if I don't talk.
Well, we might ask you to talk today.
Okay.
What can you do in 13 or 20 minutes? What's a really good thing that a person might be able to do in 20 minutes while they're making a pair of glasses?
Well, you can make an EE presentation.
You can, as a matter of fact.
You can share the gospel.
You can share the gospel and give people sight that goes beyond the temporal.
Amen.
And I think that's really exciting. And so you had this vision that there would be people that could read their Bibles, and through this act of kindness, that you'd have an opening to the gospel of Jesus Christ. And have you seen that happen over this past 7 years?
Yes, we've seen that happen many times. There's a pastor in the Philippines that actually goes out into remote villages and tests their eyes, gives them a pair of glasses. And then when they ask, you know, this is such a wonderful gift, what do you want? What are you up to? You know. And of course they answer, well, we want to share with you the love of Christ. And from that a Bible study started, and then from the Bible study a church is planted.
That's fantastic. Well, so this is a vision that the Lord gave you. Now, why on earth would you want, because Glasses for Missions is doing very well. You know, you're expanding, you're into 57 countries. Why would you want to combine with Evangelism Explosion? What do you think will come from that?
Well, I think that it will greatly increase the outreach of Glasses for Missions, and I also believe that it'll open some doors for Evangelism Explosion to get you into areas that you're not in. Plus, it will draw people to you, and it's nice to have people come to you for glasses and sit down with them and share the gospel.
How long have you and Anita been in Evangelism Explosion?
Since 1989, I think.
Wow.
Somewhere.
So you're going to learn it one of these days, I think.
Yeah, I'm working on still trying to improve my skills. And, yes.
Now,
in fact, that's where I met her, was in Evangelism Explosion.
So we're responsible for you having such a beautiful and godly bride.
That's right.
So you owe us.
Yeah, so I keep coming back every semester, see what's going to happen next.
Now, the first experience that a person has when they come up to a Glasses for Missions table or something that's been set up in a village or perhaps a sign's been put out in front of the church that people can come in to have a free pair of glasses, of reading glasses. The first experience that they have is to look through this eye testing kit to determine which lens that they need.
Correct.
Starts with 1.0 and it goes all the way up on this one to 4.
4, right. 12 different strengths.
12 different strengths. And there's a piece of fish string that holds this out at exactly the right length, and so they look through this and they determine which lens that they need. And I can see here that I need a 125 or a 1.5, perhaps, something like that. But
Yes.
it's interesting. What is it that's on this card that they're reading?
Well, we have the 2 diagnostic questions. You know for certain that you'll be with God in heaven.
And they keeps getting smaller and smaller as you go down.
Yes.
And if God were to ask you, why should I let you? Oh, wait a second. Oh, I guess I know it by memory. What is it that you'd
Right.
say?
If God was to ask you, why should I let you into my heaven? How would you answer him? What would you say?
It's in another language on the back, so
Yes,
you know. In this case, it's Spanish, but it could be any language that a person needed.
And it's just a simple little foam board so that you can glue your language on, whatever your language is, whatever country you're in. You can just type up a little card and put on there for them to read in your language.
So even from the beginning, the gospel is right here, and you can say, you know, I'm going to make these glasses for you, but I'd like you to answer the questions.
You betcha.
And go ahead and get their answers to the questions, and then begin into the process of making a pair of glasses. And I wonder for the, you know, our network leaders are going to have questions and whatnot, but we're going to try to preclude that and answer as many as we can today. There is a manual that you've developed that takes somebody step by step through the manufacturing of a pair of glasses. There's a DVD that we're even going to put up online so that people can see how you would make a pair of glasses.
Yes.
But I wonder if you would take, we've got the time today, can you take that 13 or 15 minutes or whatever it would take, and can you show us how you would go about making a pair of glasses? Now, first of all, what are some of the materials that you have here?
Well, we have the stainless steel wire, and it's already cut in to the right length for the earpiece and for the frame.
And that comes that way in the kit that a person gets.
Yes, it comes in the kit. We cut it in the shop for the kit. And then we have some PVC tubing that we slip over the wire so that it's more comfortable behind to the wearer, and of course the ends of the wires don't scratch. Then we have the lens. The lens comes in a big round circle, and there's a stamping on the tab that tells you what power it is. This happens to be a 150. And then just a few simple hand tools. You would recognize a saw and pliers and benders. And, well, you wouldn't recognize that. That's a tool we made up. But it's a bender and a scraper and a little round file.
Okay.
And then the jig. Okay, so we're ready to start.
Sure.
Okay, we use the jig to find this proximate center.
And this jig, by the way, let me interrupt you just to say, this is a 2x4 with a couple of pieces of press board that are screwed into it. This is commonly available material.
Yes.
And although it's complex in the way that it's put together and the design of the different tabs and whatnot, this is not something that would be hard to come by.
No.
Right, okay.
No, it could be very easily copied by someone that was handy. Okay.
Okay.
So we put the center of the wire in the little metal block here and bend it down. And to get a tight bend, we squeeze the wire tight against the block.
Okay.
Underneath the movable pins. And simply bend it around and back to the jig.
And this is the nose piece that
Right,
just
so we
made.
have the nose piece made already. And then we make airplane wings. We simply put it in our pliers and bend it out.
Bend it out to the side.
Like airplane wings. Then it goes into a cutout underneath the metal plate here.
Look at that.
And we bend it around the left end, and that gives us the proper distance for the width of the lens.
Look at that.
Then it goes back in the metal block underneath the pin. And we make another loop to hold the other side of the lens.
That's fascinating, Dale.
Okay. Now we have to get the wire around the back so we can put a hinge on it. And so this little upright metal here is in the right position bend that around there. And then since the lens have a little bit of a curvature to them, we'll put just a little bit of a curvature in the frame to match them, to match the lens. And we have that part of the frame made. We're
All
ready.
right, so that's the whole, the section that holds the lens is in place, and you
Right.
did that in just a minute or so.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. Okay.
So now we're ready to cut our tubing to go on the earpiece. And the measurement for that is the inside width of the jig.
Okay.
That gives us the proper distance for that. There's a stamping on the wire, and that's what holds the tubing in place.
Okay.
We just
And
slide
that's
it on.
something that comes on the wire. You do that in the shop.
No, it actually comes on the wire.
Oh, it comes that way.
Yeah, it's already stamped when we get it. It comes in a 36-inch piece of wire.
And it's stamped on both sides, so you
Yeah.
got both of the pieces.
Right, so we got both earpieces. Wonder who planned that. Huh?
Well, I think the Lord probably
I
did,
think
huh?
he did too. Then we bend a 90-degree on the end of the earpiece,
Uh-huh.
and it goes in the hole closest to us. We might as well bend both earpieces while we're at it.
Okay.
We take a little scrap wire and put it in the hole farthest from us, and put our bender on. The hole keeps blinking there. And then we put 5 turns on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, stopping to the left because it's for the left ear.
Okay.
My scrap wire bent a little bit.
There you go.
Pull it out. We won't use that for the next one. That's the left ear because we wound it to the left. Most people have 2 ears, so one on the right and one on the left, so we have to wind them opposite.
They don't always use them to hear, though, do they?
No, they don't.
According to Jesus.
Okay, and then that one goes to the right. That's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
5.
And stopping to the right because that's the right ear.
Uh-huh.
And then we cut off the excess wire. Like so. Then there's a little hole on the front of the jig, and this gives us the proper distance for bending the earpiece so it comes behind your ear. Now we're ready to install our earpieces. Okay, sometimes, well, about most of the time, the machine that cuts them in the shop leaves just a little bit of a burr on, and I have to
Cut
trim
off the
that
edge
off.
there, yeah.
So that it, okay, it makes a difference.
Okay.
And then we bend it down and cut it off 3/4 the length of the coil. And it should open up and stop at the right distance.
Oh, look at that.
And it almost does. I just got to tweak it just a little bit. There, that's good. And then the other side. That one fit a little tight. Okay. Bend it down. Cut it off. Down. Make sure it opens to the right distance. And it does, so it's in a nice straight line. So we have our frames.
So there is the frame to the pair of glasses. Amazing.
So now we will cut our lens. And
You have a circle right there that it fits right into.
correct. And that holds it in position. And if you're right-handed, well, you would use the slot on the right. And if you're left-handed, you'd use the slot on the left. Since I'm right-handed, I'll put the tab to the right because I'll cut that off first.
Okay.
Then we rotate the lens 90 degrees and line it up with a mark on the jig and cut the lens in half. So we're actually using one lens to make one pair of glasses. It helps keep the cost down. Okay. Now we have 3 sharp corners on the lens, and we take the sandpaper and just round those corners a little bit. Okay. I don't know if Don Warren told you, Don Warren took some of these to the Sudan with him, and he told about a lady when she received her glasses, she fell to the ground just weeping, and the missionary, Don, I guess he thought that, what'd you do, poke her eye out or something? And so he asked the translator, what happened? He says, oh, she's just so overcome with emotion at being able to see again.
Yeah, we take it for granted, don't we?
Yes, we do. Okay, and what I'm doing here is just smoothing up from the rough cut from the file, and we smooth up where it touches your nose because these don't have nose pads on them, and so the lens has to be smooth where they touch your nose to be comfortable.
Where do you get this glass, this lens from?
Well, at the present time, they come from India or from China, but Eugene is in India right now to see if we can purchase a mold. In fact, we'd like to purchase 3 molds so that we can have them made here in America, and they can make them in India, and also one for Africa, so we could set up areas there to get the molds. Okay. So now we have the lens, and now this is the proper height, or approximately the height, to make the notch that holds the lens in place. And then we'll test and see here how it fits. We got to raise that a little bit. Okay. So then we file our notch about 3/4 the depth of the diameter of the file, and I was kind of pushing that one to the left to raise that lens up a little. That looks good. Let's see how this one is. That looks good. I'll go ahead and make it a little bit deeper. Good. So there we have one lens in.
Isn't that amazing?
Whoops. Sorry. And now we'll try for the other one. Raise that one a little bit. Raise that one a little bit. Notch a little deeper so it holds good. And make sure it fits good. Okay, and then we can snap it in. That lens is just a little bit loose, so we'll tighten it up by increasing this angle just a little bit. Okay. So the lens just snap into place and those grooves home. We got a pair of glasses.
Look at that.
And now with just a couple of adjustments, we'll have a nice pair of glasses.
Okay, now that looks...
They're pretty close
pretty
already,
close,
aren't they?
aren't they?
Yes. So we just need to tighten the lens up a little bit here. And both sides. Okay. Then make sure they're straight across the top. Whoops. Okay, that's good. And then we'll lean them back just a little bit. And let's see how they fold up. Okay, this one's come back a little. And then make sure they fold right. So there's a nice pair of glasses.
Well, look at there.
And I'll bet they'll even work.
It's
That's
a 1.5. That, yeah, look at there. Do you know for sure that you'll be with God in heaven?
I sure do.
And if God were to ask you, why should I let you into my heaven, what would you say?
Because I shook hands with John Sorenson.
Now, Dale, you have a problem. And then you have a real nice case that you have some folks make up, and
Yes.
it's an area that some of the ladies can help out with in sewing these up. And now, Dale, this is brilliant. I mean, it really is. It's just genius. And when you dream about the future of what you'd like to see this look like, tell me about the vision that you have that God's going to do through this.
Well, I'd like to see these go to every country and every territory in the world, and just have people all over the world using these to further to glorify God by using them to enabling Christians to read their Bibles for discipleship, and also for drawing people to the Lord, for an opportunity to present the gospel.
Yeah. Now, so you have an opportunity to speak to the vice presidents and to the regional directors now who are watching this video. And what would you, if you were there in person, what would you say to them?
I don't know. Just say that we just really welcome this opportunity to reach out to more people, and I'm sure that you'll just be as excited about this program as I am.
Dale, God bless you, and welcome to EE.
Thank you.